Okay, welcome everyone to the IELTS course. In this course, we have 32 lessons or sessions. Part one, it's divided into part one and part two. Part one is much easier, to be honest. Part two for the advanced users of the language. And if you study part two, of course, and part one, as instructed, you can score 7 to 7.5, inshallah. Part one is 16 lessons, 8 of them about reading and writing, okay, of course, the general training module, okay, and 8 of them about listening and speaking. Part two, the same, okay. So let's begin our lesson. Let's talk about the general training reading module. In the general training reading module of the IELTS exam, you will be given 60 minutes to read a range of written texts in English and answer about 40 related questions. The reading texts are taken from general everyday sources such as magazines, newspapers, workplace, and training information, signs, advertisements, and many more. Okay, so you'll practically be reading about everything, okay, or anything. The questions are designed to assess your ability to obtain and understand the meaning from these texts, okay? The main features of the general training reading tests are, there are 3 sections. Total reading texts range from 5 to 6. We said 60 minutes, of course, and 40 questions. Section 1, usually questions from 1 to 14, contains 2 to 3 short texts. When I say short, I mean less than 500 words, unlike the academic reading module, okay? Taken from everyday general sources, these include advertisements, leaflets, timetables, and menus, okay? Section 2, questions from 15 to 27, contains 2 medium length texts, around 500, maybe 600 words, usually taken from training or workplace. Section 3, 1 longer or very long text, usually 600 to 700 words from a general interest article, usually a topic of general interest. Just a side note, as a side note, when you do your homework, I want you to follow the steps explained in the lessons to the letter, okay? But when you finish your homework, I want you to read the passages carefully, understand every word. So after you're done with your homework as instructed in the steps that we are going to be talking about later in this lesson and the other lessons, of course, I want you to, afterwards, okay? I want you to read the text carefully and try to find the useful vocabulary, collocations, and so on. I want you to really understand the text, okay? Because the more you read, the faster you can read, the better you can understand the English language. And of course, this will come useful at the exam because you will be finding the answer faster, okay? For the first 16 lessons, I want you to take as much time as you need to do the questions. There will be no time limit, okay? But it's crucial that you follow the steps given in the lesson, even if you know the answer, okay? Even if the answer is obvious to you, you need to follow the steps explained in the lessons, okay? You need to practice doing the steps. Let's talk a bit about the answer sheet. You will be given a general training question paper, which contains the texts and the questions, and a separate answer sheet. You may mark or write on the question paper because sometimes you need to locate or underline the keywords. We are going to talk about that in a minute, actually in about 5 minutes, okay? But before the end of the 60 minutes, you are required to transfer all your answers to the answer sheet, okay? So you need to answer the 40 questions in approximately maybe 50 to 55 minutes. So you will not be given any extra time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. So you need to give yourself maybe 5 minutes to do that, okay? You need to also divide the total time of the text okay, into smaller sections to ensure that you have time to complete the 3 parts. And you should answer all the questions, even if you are not sure about the answer, okay? Don't spend more than maybe a minute or 90 seconds, okay, in each question. You need to improve your reading by reading every day. This is crucial. You have to read every day. And I'm not talking about the material in the course. I'm saying that you have to read in general. Okay, read articles online or from newspapers. Read the passages or the texts in your homework, as we said before. But don't read the passage until you submit your answers. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. In this lesson, we are going to be talking about 2 very important concepts, or we could say concepts that are very important to the IELTS reading test. Okay, skimming and scanning. This is one concept. Okay, we could say a skill too. Okay, because you need to practice these concepts. Okay, and paraphrasing. And for the questions, the question types we are going to discuss for today's lesson, we will be talking about short answer questions and completing sentences. Okay, as you can see, this is a passage, a general reading module passage. It's called College Car Parking Policy, Staff. As we said, you will not be able to read all these texts and answer 40 questions in an hour or less than an hour. So there are some techniques that you can use to find the correct answer without reading the whole thing. Okay, so let's see how. Let's begin with the short answer questions. If you see down here, okay, choose no more than 3 words and or a number from the passage for each answer. And then you have 3 questions. So you will answer these 3 questions with no more than 3 words and or a number from the passage. Okay, so you'll have to locate the answer from the passage. Let's read this slide. Those are questions that require an answer of just a few words. Those are known as short answer questions, and they ask about factual details from the passage, of course. The answers for short answer questions come usually, okay, not always, but usually in the same order as they appear in the text. What I mean by that, if you find the answer to the first question in, let's say, paragraph 2, okay, then most probably you will find the answer for the second question in the 3rd paragraph. Probably, okay? Not usually, but probably. And maybe the 3rd question in the following paragraph and so on, okay? So this is what I mean by in the same order as they appear in the text. Make sure that your answer, I'm sorry, it should read your answer, not your answer, is grammatically correct. Some grammar words can be omitted in order to get the right number of words. We are going to talk about that in a minute, okay? You can omit words like the, or the article a and an, okay? Or the quantifier some or any. In this type of task, you have to answer questions using up to 3 words or up to 2 words and or a number. Actually, the instructions tell you how many words you can use to answer the question. Short answer questions test if you can find the right part of the text quickly and understand the information. Skimming and scanning the text are 2 skills that you need to master for the reading part of the exam. So let's, before we look at short answer questions like those 3, we need to talk about skimming and scanning, and we need to understand how they work. So before we even begin skimming and scanning, we need to find the keywords. What I mean by finding keywords, before you start working on the questions, you need to underline the key words. Those are the most important words in the questions, and they are the key to finding the correct answers. For example, if you look at the first two questions from the previous slide, okay, the first question says, where can you buy parking permits at the college? So I could say that buy is a keyword, or even better, parking permits and college. Okay, so it's a matter of opinion. When you underline these keywords, you can start looking for these keywords in the text itself. Okay, and we are going to practice that. Which document shows the dates of term time? So I could say that document is a keyword. It's a very important word in the question. Dates and term time. Okay, so you have to find, this is crucial. This is very important. You have to find the keywords before you start doing anything. Okay, you can underline those important words in the questions. Okay, scanning and skimming. Scanning and skimming are important reading techniques which are very useful in the IELTS test. As time is limited in the exam, they help you to find the answers you need quickly. Be careful. You are not going to read the whole text to answer the questions. This is a big mistake. You don't have time to read 5 or 6 texts, okay, or passages. Skimming is skimming the text is reading it quickly to get an idea of what it's about. So you will have a quick look at the text to understand what it's about. Okay, what it's about. So scanning is also reading quickly, but to look for specific information. When you scan the text, maybe you are looking for a phone number, a price of some product, what else? A date. Maybe you're looking for a birth date of your friend. Maybe so you are he was born in 1985, for example. So you are looking for 1985 in text. You are not reading anything. You are just looking for something specific. Okay, or maybe a name of a leader, a historical figure. I'm not sure. Okay, it depends on the text. Okay, so before you look at the questions, read through the text quickly. Skim the text in 1 minute and don't mind if there are some words that you don't understand. So these are the steps you need to find the correct answer or answers to the question or questions. Okay, so before you look at the questions, first you need to skim the text in 1 minute. Don't take more than 1 minute to skim the text. And don't mind if there are some words that you don't understand. Okay. When you skim the text, try to look for content words. What I mean by content words, those are words that will give you a clue. Okay. Like nouns, verbs, and adjectives, because those will give you an idea of the text. Maybe a name of a person. Okay. An adjective that describes that person, and so on. Read the questions. So you're done with skimming the text in 1 minute. Okay. After that, read the questions and find the key words. Those words will help you to locate the correct answer. You can underline those words. That's fine. Now that you have the key words, maybe for the first question only right now, scan the passage for the answer of the first question. Move your eyes quickly through the text and don't read it. Please don't read the text. You don't have time for that. Okay. You need to find the answer in less than 90 seconds. Okay. So keep moving your eyes quickly through the text until you find the first keyword or a word with a similar meaning. For example, if the question says lift, okay, you could find a similar word in the text, in the question. Okay, so let's assume that the question says lift and you underlined it as a keyword, as a very important word to find the answer. The text could say elevator, which means the same thing. Okay. Now read the part of the passage or the paragraph that has the keyword carefully until you find the answer. We will talk about that more. We will have some examples. Okay. So first, you skim the text in 1 minute to get an idea of the text. Then you read the questions, find the keywords and underline them. Okay. Scan the text for the answer of the first question. You will be moving your eyes very quickly until you find the first keyword. Then you can read, or a similar word. Then you will read this paragraph that has the keyword carefully until you find the answer. Sometimes, actually, usually, you will not read the whole paragraph. Maybe the sentence that has the keyword or the following sentence and so on. Okay, so maybe you will be reading 2 to 3 sentences only. Scanning exercise. Okay, read this exam task and the answers to the questions. What's wrong with the answers? And answer these questions. Choose no more than 3 words and or a number from the passage for each question answer. So this is actually a mistake. Okay, those 3 questions have the wrong answers. Okay, let's assume that you already know the answer to these 3 questions. The first one is hospitality department. And a test taker wrote as the answer, hospitality division. This is a mistake because you have to make sure that you use the correct information when you answer a question. It doesn't say in the passage or the text division. It says department. Okay, so you have to get your answer from the passage because the question says choose no more than 3 words and or a number from the passage or the text. Okay, so you don't have to come up with the answer on your own. You have to choose the answer from the passage. It doesn't say the passage. We are going to be looking at this in a moment. The answer to the question is hospitality department, not division. The second question is also a mistake. It should be academic calendar. This is called academic calendar, and calendar is spelled wrong. It should be an A here, not E. Okay, so be careful with spelling. You can lose marks if your spelling is incorrect, is wrong. Okay, it says academic calendar in the text. The third one says it's the 1st of October. Oh, this is a very big mistake. Okay, don't write more than the number of words you're given. You have to read the question carefully. Okay, no more than 3 words and or a number. So it could be 3 words and a number. Okay, or 2 words and a number, or even a word and a number. Okay, so the maximum is 3 words and a number. Okay. Here it says don't read more than the number of words you're given. You mustn't write full sentences. Don't change words in the text. Remember, the instructions tell you to choose words from the text. Let's move on. Skimming exercise. For each activity, we have 6 activities. Decide whether you would use skimming or scanning. Remember, skimming is having a quick look at the text to understand what's going on. Okay. So scanning, you are actually reading the text quickly too, but you are scanning for specific information. You are not reading to understand what the text is about. No. Scanning, you are looking for specific information. So for the first one, looking up a word in the dictionary, would you use skimming or scanning? Let's suppose for a minute that you want to look for a new word Okay, so you will be using scanning because you are scanning for specific information. You are scanning for this specific word in the dictionary. 2, browsing the internet for the latest news stories. You browse maybe a website like masrawi.com, okay, or whatever, um, maybe some other news website. You will take a quick look for the latest news stories. This is called skimming, not scanning. Choosing a book from a library or bookshop. This is called, you will use skimming. You are choosing a book from a library, so you are taking a quick look first because you are not looking for something specific. But when you, for number 4, finding a specific news story in a newspaper. I need to find a specific news story in a newspaper. I have the title and I'm looking for it. This is scanning. I'm scanning for something specific, okay? Finding the price of a product on a website. I'm looking for a specific product and its price. So this is scanning too. Maybe they have 100 products and I'm looking for something specific. So I'm scanning for it. Looking through a magazine for an interesting article. Skimming, because I have to take a quick look first. I don't have any, I don't have something specific I'm looking for. I just want, maybe I just have some free time and I want to read an article. So I have to take a quick look first. This is called skimming. I hope that now you get the idea. Now we have the text again. It's called college car parking policy staff. And we have some paragraphs. As we said, you are not going to read the whole text. No. This is the question, short answer questions. Remember, the answers for short answer questions come in the same order, usually, as they appear in the text. This is the question. You have to read the question carefully. Choose no more than 3 words and or a number from the passage for each answer. So you have 6 questions. You can start by the first step is to underline the keywords. Okay, but first let's just skim the text for 1 minute. I need to understand the text, and you can do that in less than 1 minute. So I would read the title, parking permits and tickets. Staff permits are required to park a motor vehicle other than a motorcycle parked in the cycle bays on campus between blah, blah, blah. Then enforcement, the nominated contractor will issue penalty charge notices on vehicles that fail to display a valid permit and or parking ticket. So I practically read the first 2 or even 3 sentences quickly. Short-term drop-off pickup provision. There will be 2 short-term drop-off pickup spaces for users of the nursery with a maximum of 10 minutes waiting time allowed. Okay. Penalty. Actually, this is number 1, 2, 3. Penalty charge notice, PNC, 30 pounds, increasing to 60 pounds, 7 days after issue. The nominated contractor responsible for the collection of unpaid. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Disabled parking. So it's obviously parking for the disabled, designated car parking spaces for disabled car drivers. The college will make all reasonable efforts to ensure these parking spaces are used only by drivers. Okay. Visitors, the college welcomes visitors and provides parking arrangements through pre-arranged permits. Okay. Then in less than 1 minute, I got an idea of the text. It's about parking permits and tickets and penalty. Also there are car spaces for the disabled. Visitors can have some parking spaces pre-arranged. Okay, and there is a penalty charge notice. Okay, so I got an idea of the text. Now let's first underline the keywords, the most important words in the first question. Where can you buy parking permits at the college? I would underline parking permits. Okay, I don't think that that at the college will be a keyword because all this is happening at the college. Okay, so it doesn't make sense. We don't have maybe 3 or 4 different places in the text. It's all happening in the college or at the college. Okay, so parking permits, buy parking permits. Okay, so for the first one, I wouldn't choose at the college. I would choose buy parking permits. Now I need to go back to the text. And actually the question here says, where can you buy parking permits at the college? I need to scan for, we already are done with skimming. Now I need to scan the text for the first keyword. You will scan the text, okay? You will not be reading anything. I found permits and I found purchased. Oh, this is a synonym for buy, okay? And we are going to be talking about that in about 5 minutes, okay? It's called paraphrasing. This is a synonym. It has the same meaning, okay? So you can buy a permit or purchase a permit. It's the same thing, okay? Just purchase is more formal than buy, okay? So from the hospitality department. Oh, this is my answer. And it's 2 words. I could say the hospitality department or hospitality department. Okay, so this is the answer to the first question. Let's move on. I know it's tedious to be moving around between the slides, but in the exam, you will not be doing that. Which document shows the dates of term time? Remember, we have already skimmed the text. All we need to do is find the keywords, scan for the keywords or words that have the same meaning, okay? Which document shows the dates of term time? So I have to underline the keywords. I would say document, dates, and term time. Term time, okay? So I'm looking for a document. The answer has to be with a document, okay? So you can have 2 questions in the same paragraph. We already said that the answers, the questions are in the same order as the answers, okay, or vice versa. I'm sorry. So you could have 2 questions, 2 answers for 2 questions in 1 paragraph. Okay. I need to find. We said document, dates, term time. Okay, I will continue. Here I have term time. I have the same expression as published in the academic calendar. So, but I need to make sure that I got the correct answer. So I will be reading this whole sentence. All permits, tickets must be clearly displayed in the windscreen of the vehicles during the dates of term time, as published in the academic calendar. So this is the document that publishes the term time. So the answer to the second question is academic calendar. Okay. Let's move on to the third question. What's the start date of the annual parking permit? So start date, annual parking permit. I will be scanning for these these keywords or words that are similar in meaning. Okay. So I'm looking for a date. I'm looking for a date. Dates of term. No, I will keep moving my eyes. So I have dates. I have dates here. Okay. Annual car parking permits can be purchased from the 20th September and are valid for 1 academic year from 1st October. So this is the date I want. If you look at the question again, what's the start date? Start date. Start date. Here it says are valid for 1 academic year from. It has the same meaning. So this is the answer, 1st October. If you remember, let's go back to the previous slide, the scanning exercise. A test taker answered, he says, it's the 1st of October. We said don't write more than the number of words that you're given, okay? And don't use complete sentences. Don't write a sentence, okay? So don't do that. Write only the words that you are instructed to use, okay? Who's responsible for giving out parking fines if you park in the wrong place? So I would underline responsible, parking fines, or fines only, wrong place. Actually, no, I will not, I wouldn't underline wrong place, because it makes sense that a fine is given if you park in the wrong place, okay? So responsible and fines. These are my keywords. Now let me go back to the text and try to find the answer. The annual charge, no. Enforcement. Actually, the title of this paragraph gives me a clue, okay? The nominated contractor will issue penalty charge notices on vehicles that fail to display a valid permit and or parking ticket, or vehicles that are parked on yellow lines or in disabled parking bays without displaying a blue disabled parking permit. So this is, in this sentence, is the answer. The nominated contractor. Okay, nominated contractor. This is the answer, because he will issue penalty charge notices. And if you keep reading, vehicles that are parked on yellow lines or in disabled parking bays, of course, this means that cars which parked in the wrong place. Okay, so the answer is nominated contractor. This is the answer. So I'm scanning for the information. Okay. 5, what do visitors need to show when parking? So I would underline visitors show parking. I need to scan for these keywords. Penalty charge notice, no, I wouldn't even look at this paragraph because it has nothing to do with the question. Disabled parking, no. Actually, here it says visitors, okay? So the answer is obvious. It's in this paragraph. The college welcomes visitors and provides parking arrangement through pre-arranged permits, which must be displayed on the vehicle. Please contact the respective department for fiction. Okay. So if you go back to the question, what do visitors need to show when parking? What do visitors need to show when parking? They need to show what? Actually, the answer might not be obvious here, okay? They need to have permits, right? Pre-arranged permits. So before the visitor comes to visit the university, he would most probably call and ask for a pre-arranged permit. So the answer could be, the answer is pre-arranged permits, okay? If the question asks you to write only one word and a number, okay, it could be permits, but it says 3 words. Actually, these are 2 words, pre-arranged permits, okay? Or it could be just permits. Where can the nursery pickup point be found? So I have 2 keywords, nursery, pickup point, nursery and pickup point. These are my keywords. Let's now go back to the, as we can see, we don't have any paragraph title with the word nursery, okay? But we have here a paragraph that says pickup. So the answer could be in this paragraph, most likely. There will be short. Oh, it's this building. If you go back to the question, I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Where can the nursery pickup point be found? So I need the location of the pickup point. If you move back to the text, it says these spaces, pickup spaces, which means this expression means pickup points. It's a paraphrasing for the expression or a synonym. Then it's this building. Okay. That's your answer. Now let's move on to the other part of the lesson, paraphrasing. In the reading paper, it's very important to be able to understand paraphrasing. It's when you repeat something using different words or phrases. It's frequently used in the exam to test your ability to understand different sentences that mean the same thing. You have to understand that the words used in the questions will most likely be different from the words in the passage. And we have already seen that in the previous exercise. The questions will use paraphrasing. For example, if the passage says houseboats, for example, the questions could could use words and expressions like homes on water, because houseboats are actually homes on water. Okay. If the question, if the passage says permanently, you could find something in the question that says forever or always. If the passage says privacy, you could find an expression that means the same thing in the question, like not being watched by others. Not being watched by others, it means that you have some privacy. Okay. Surrounded by the natural world. Surrounded by the natural world. It could mean having nature all around. Your ability to understand these synonyms will help you score, will help you get a high score in the exam. Okay. 5, uncomfortable. Uncomfortable could also mean not feeling pleasant. Sweden, Norway, and Finland, the Nordic nations. These are called the Nordic nations. So if the question asks you about something related to the Nordic nations, but you will not find the word Nordic anywhere in the passage. You underlined it as a key word in the question, but you are not able to find it in the passage. But you can find Sweden, Norway, and Finland. And these are the Nordic nations. The key to paraphrasing is understanding synonyms and words or phrases with a similar meaning in the text. For example, the text could be, or the question could be asking you about the city. In the context of the text, it could mean a name of a specific city, Cairo, London, Sydney, and so on. The text could be talking about desirable facilities. The question could have words such as health, spa, and gym. Outside spaces or space could mean gardens, right? Inside the building, it could be interior design or something. Okay. And so visitors could mean guests, friends from work. Equipped to make visitors feel welcome. It could mean designed to entertain guests. Expensive materials, rare wood, and fine rugs. So you will be looking not just for the keywords, but for words with a similar meaning, Okay. This is very important for the IELTS test. Okay. Extravagant here. Okay. We forgot this one. Extravagant. It means costing a lot of money. This could be a synonym. More than reasonable or expensive. So if the text has this word, the question could have a synonym. It doesn't have to be a word. It could be an expression or a sentence. Okay. Okay. Let's have an exercise. These statements these statements, I'm sorry, it's missing an S. Paraphrase each of the paragraphs in the text. Match each statement 1 to 3, those statements, with the correct paragraph. So each statement of these 3, paraphrase each of the paragraphs in one sentence. So the paraphrased sentence explains a paragraph of the text. So let's read the first one. The college has assigned specific parking spaces for the physically challenged. The physically challenged, it means disabled people, okay? People with disabilities. And it says here has assigned specific parking spaces. So I need to find this paragraph. If we move back to the text, sorry, it's taking long. I need to find the paragraph for the disabled because it was a paraphrase. It says challenged people, okay? It could be this paragraph, disabled parking. The college has designated. It has the same meaning as has assigned. So it's a paraphrasing technique, okay? You say the same thing, just using different words. You need to understand that this is a big part of the reading test, okay? So it's this paragraph. Contact the responsible department for more information about guests' parking spots. Oh, we talked about visitors. Do you remember? That visitors need to have a prearranged permit. Okay, so the sentence didn't say visitors. It said guests and parking spots, not spaces. Responsible department and so on. So it's the visitors paragraph. Using the child care employees' parking spaces is prohibited. So it means that you can't use parking spaces of these employees. Okay. If you go back to the text, it's the last paragraph about the nursery. Okay. So it doesn't. This sentence, it doesn't say nursery employees, and let's go back to the sentence. It says here child care employees. Let's go back to the text. Okay, it's users of the nursery. The nursery staff base may not be used under any circumstances. Nursery staff, which means child care employees. Maybe the meaning is very similar, okay? May not be used under any circumstances. It has the same meaning as is prohibited. Okay, so it's just using different words to express the same thing. Okay, this is what we call paraphrasing. And as we said, it's a big part of the exam. Okay, these are your answers. Okay, disabled parking, visitors, short-term drop-off, pickup, provision. Now we have another passage. It's called Donate Life, Discover the Facts About Organ Donation. Okay. With this passage, we have another type of questions that we need to discuss in this lesson. It's called sentence completion questions. In this task, let's read this. In this task type, you will have to complete a sentence with up to 3 words or 2 words or a number taken from the passage. It's pretty much similar to what we have just discussed about short answer questions. It's practically the same thing. The instructions will tell you how many words you are allowed to use. It's similar to the short answer question task. Remember, you need to make sure that your sentence is grammatically correct. This is very important. Look at this example. Donation of one organ can save the lives of up to. The answer is 10 people. Okay, so you have to check your sentence and make sure that it's grammatically correct. For example, is to a preposition or part of the infinitive? Are you using a verb? Can you use an adjective after to? Okay, and so on. Can you use a noun? And so on. So you have to check your grammar. The question would look like this one. Answer the questions below. Choose no more than 3 words from the text or for each answer. So you will choose no more than 3 words. So the answer could be 1 word, 2 words, or 3 words. And you have to choose from the text. Okay. So let's practice the steps that we are going to talk about. It's practically the same. First, skim the text in 1 minute to get an idea of what the passage is about. So you will start with skimming. You have to understand what the text is about. Second, to underline the keywords in the sentence, in the question, okay? After you get an idea of the text, start reading the first question and underline the most important words. Third, scan the text for the key word or keywords or for words that have a similar meaning. Watch out for paraphrasing. We have been talking about paraphrasing for maybe 10 minutes, so I hope you got the idea. 4, when you find the keyword or the first keyword, you need to read maybe the first, you read maybe 1 or 2 sentences around the keyword, okay? And you have to read them carefully. You might need to read 2 sentences to get the answer. Find the word or words that seem to fit the answer. Then check the meaning of the sentence matches the meaning in the text. Check the grammar of the completed sentence. Check that you have used the correct number of words for the sentence. Actually, the last 3 can be done in just 1 step. You will choose the word, make sure that the meaning works for the text, okay? And make sure that you have used the correct amount of words, okay? The correct number of words, I'm sorry. So this is the question. This leaflet is produced by the government to give facts and information about, okay? I'm sorry. So this is your first question. Of course, these are the answers, but I want you to practice the techniques we talked about, even if the answer is very easy. Okay, I need to underline the keywords. This leaflet, government, give facts and information. So I need to use no more than 3 words here to complete the sentence and make sure that it's grammatically correct. Let's go back to the text. So I have leaflet, government, give information. Okay, so we have to skim the text first. Discover the facts. What's organ and or tissue donation? Life-saving, life-transforming medical process organ. Okay, why is organ and or tissue donation important? Donation saves and transforms lives, can save up to 10 people and significantly improve the lives of many more. Why do people need transplants? It's missing a P, transplant, okay. Organ transplants are usually very unblind, okay. Who can become a donor? Almost anyone can. You'll just have to read maybe 2 sentences, that's all. What's the donor register? So this is about donating organs, and there's something called the donor register. And of course, in Australia, official national register for people to record their decision about becoming an organ donor. Okay, after death. Who can register on the donor register? Registers, I'm sorry. How can I register? Okay, I got an idea of the text. It's about donating organs, okay, and tissues, okay. So the first question, I have the keyword. It's about this leaflet, okay, and we said government and give facts. Okay, so oh, it's in the title. Donate life, discover the facts about organ donation. It's in the title. Okay, it's in the title. Okay, so let's go back to the text. This leaflet is produced by the government to give facts and information about organ donation. Okay, so let's check the second one. Donation of one organ can save the lives of up to. So I have donation, save the lives. These are the keywords. If I go back to the text, start with the first paragraph, discover the facts. No, I don't think I will find the answer in the first paragraph because it's about the facts. Why is organ donation important? Okay, one donor can save the lives of up to 10 people and significantly improve the lives of many more. So one donor can save the lives of up to 10 people. One donor, okay? So let's go back to the text. The text says donation of one organ can save the lives of up to. So this is a paraphrasing for one donor, okay? So one donor can save the lives of up to 10 people. Let's move on to the third one. You're never too old to donate an organ. The use of an organ is determined by the something of the organ and its tissues and how and where the donor died. Okay, so we have here never too old. This could be a key expression. Determined by is another key. Determined by. Let's move on. Let's go back to the text. I know it's a bit tedious to be moving on like that. I need to be looking for never too old and determined by. Something similar, okay? Because I have to be looking for paraphrasing. Why do people need transplants? Who can become a donor? I think I will find the answer in this paragraph, okay? Because it makes sense. It's related to the question. Almost anyone can donate organs. There is no age limit of the donation. Age limit could be no age limit. So it could be a paraphrase for never too old. Okay. Determining factors are where and how a person dies. And the condition of their organs and tissue. The condition. So the answer is condition. If you go back to the text. The use of an organ is determined by the condition of the organ and its tissues. Okay, let's move on to 4. Organs that can be donated include liver, heart, lungs. So the keywords donated, organs donated. These are my keywords. Of course, we have liver, heart, and lungs. Organs donated. Let's go back to the text. Who can become, no. What's the donor register? It could be in this paragraph. You will have to scan for the heart and so on, lungs and so on. The keywords, I'm scanning for the information. No, it's not there. Okay, so I will have to keep reading. You can miss it and you can go back to it. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Who needs to know about my donation decision? No, it's not here. Who can become a donor? No. Why do people need transplants? No. No. Sometimes it takes too long. Okay, so you can go back to the question. Okay, and read it one more time. Organs that can be donated include liver, heart, lungs. So, sometimes you can get confused easily in the exam, at the exam, okay? So organs donated, liver, heart, lungs. I need to be looking for these three. Okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes it takes a bit longer. Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. There has been a mistake. The paragraph is not included in the PowerPoint slides. I'm going to do that after we're done. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. All people who are something can register to be a donor. So I have a register and donor. These are the keywords that I need to be looking for, scanning for. Okay. It's right here. Who can become a donor? Okay. Who? It's for people, of course, and a donor. Almost anyone can donate organs. Donate. Okay. There's no age limit. No, the answer is not here. Keep reading. Okay. And who can register on the donor register? Okay. So I need to go back to the questions. Sometimes you need to go back more than once, of course. All people who are something can register to be a donor. Okay. It's about registry. So register and a donor. It's about registry. Who can register for the on the donor register? Persons 16 years of age or older can register their donation decision. So this is the answer. 16 years. Okay. This is the answer. Let's take a look at the last one. You can register something, your donation decision, by calling this number, by visiting a local medical health office, or filling in an attached form. Okay, so you can register something. There's a missing, there are missing words here. So let's find the keywords: donation decision, and actually these three are keywords. These three options: calling this number, or visiting local medical health office, or filling in an attached form. These are your keywords. So going back to the text, it's in the following paragraph. You can register by either filling a attached form or going to... No, this has a website. The website wasn't on the list. So the answer is probably not in this paragraph. Moving on to the following one. How do I change my registration details? You can change or withdraw your donation decision on the donor register, by filling the form, or calling the number, or visiting your local Medicare office. So the answer is you can change or withdraw. Okay, so it could be change or withdraw. Going back to the text, to the question, I'm sorry. You can register your donation. You can register or change your donation decision. Actually, change will not work here. Okay, you can register or withdraw. You can do one of these two. You can register or withdraw your decision. Okay, so these are the answers. You have to follow the instructions we talked about. You have to skim the text for a minute, then scan for the keywords or paraphrases. And you have to make sure that these sentences are grammatically correct. We're done for today's lesson. I hope you have enjoyed our first lesson. Okay, we have many more lessons, and see you soon. Stay tuned. Okay, bye-bye.